This video is going to change your life because I'm going to talk to you about the power of the mind. When I was younger, I massively struggled with mental health issues. I doubted myself. I hated myself. And this all stemmed through negative thinking. I was always, quite a popular kid in school. I was always loud, very outgoing, very sociable. And when I was younger, I felt like the king. Get on with everyone. Very, like I said, popular. Everyone likes you. Everyone's parents likes you. And then I went into secondary school. And I was a small fish in a big, big pond. And trying to keep up to that status that I thought that I had. And I got humbled very, very, very quickly. And the truth is, I couldn't handle it. I was still trying to be the kingpin, and people knocked me down and down and down and down, and I eventually believed what they were saying. I thought that I was worthless, and I became somebody that I wasn't. I tried to be somebody that I wasn't, forcing this character to try and fit in to other people. And this went on for a long time, years and years, this misidentity in character. I wasn't who I actually am. And it took me to hit rock bottom. I got into a small fight, kerfuffle, with one of my best and only mates at the time. Well, the only true mate that I think I had. People, they fake to be your friend, but the true friend that I had. And then I had no one. I was massively disliked. And that was my rock bottom. My mental health was all over the place. I had no one. And as supporting as my family is, I didn't feel like I could go to them. At that point in my life, I hadn't found God and Jesus. And I had no one. My purpose was gone. I was pretending to be someone I wasn't, even to myself. And this nearly ruined my life. The truth is, I've thought about taking my own life. Even at times I had stepped out of the house with an attempt to do so. But I can talk about these things now because it's no longer the person I am. I'm nowhere near that man that I was then, that boy, the ignorant. And from that rock bottom, I have built myself day in, day out to become the best version of myself that I wouldn't even believe was possible. Having a purpose in my life to work towards. At the time, it was football. One of the main reasons my mental health was shot because I wasn't playing well, and everyone let me know it. They took the fucking piss out of me. They took the piss out of me day in, day out. But I got my head down on my own, and I worked, and I worked, and I worked, and I worked. And I worked so hard that my body just nearly shut down. Physically, my knees couldn't take it, my ankles couldn't take it. Picked up injuries, played through the injuries because of how much work I was putting in. But this video is not about that. This video is about the mental side. And through those trials and tribulations, every time I had a setback. And instead of letting myself go back and back and back, I took one step further forward. I didn't let it affect me as I did before in the past. Every time I had a setback, I took one step forward. I bounced back. And what this did is it calloused my mind. It reinforced my mind that no matter what happens, you can do something about it. Any situation, any scenario, you can do something about it. Everyone goes through life and lets things happen to them, and they just say, well, it's happened to me, and that's it. But that's not me. I take a grip of my life and I grab it with my two hands, and I won't let anything affect me to that level where I see it as impossible to bounce back. I would never let that happen to myself again. And yes, you'll be knocked back and back and back. But you can't accept defeat. That's where you lose. When you give up, that is where you lose. And as I had these setbacks and went again and again and again, and then I saw the results. Then you start improving. Then you start proving people wrong. And this switch of mindset that I didn't know I was going to get better. When I was training, you don't see the improvement when you train necessarily. But I knew the compound interest of training again and again and again. And then you get the results. And then you see it was all worth it. And then that builds the callus. It enlarges the strength of the callus in your mind. And I take that into everything that I do now. It's not a short-term game in life. That's what you need to realize. It's a long-term game. One of my best friends, he told me there were some footballers in our school team who were much, much better than I was. And I said to him, how will I ever be able to catch up and be at that level? And he said, you won't. Not in the next 6 months, you won't. Not in the next year, 2 years, 3 years. But 5 years, 6 years, 10 years down the line, you'll be better than it ever been. And that hit home. And it hit home even harder 5 years later, when the gap between me and them, down to people's opinions, but it's nothing. You can look at the level people are playing at. Some people, if they stopped playing in total, in full, they packed it in. But I didn't. I didn't give up. And I kept going and going and going. And that is the story of, that's the beginning of my story. I'm only in the first couple of chapters of my life, but that was the beginning. And I want to share that with you because that process, that difficult time I went to, completely changed my mindset. And now, the truth is I feel unstoppable. In the sense that no one could ever tell me I couldn't do something. I know my capabilities. I know if I won't necessarily be able to reach a certain level that I wish I could reach. And I'm not just talking about football here. I'm talking about in all aspects of life. But I would never, ever let anyone else tell me that I'm not good enough. And if they did, then I'd have to prove them wrong. There's two motives behind it. Not just the one. You have the motive to prove them wrong, and you have the motive to prove yourself right. But now you may ask, how do you actually do this? How do you actually callous your mind and change your perspective of life? Well, you start by dropping the ego. I had no choice to drop my ego because I hit rock bottom. I hit rock bottom. I had no choice. What's the point of having an ego when you have nothing? And that's where I started. But for you, you have to make a conscious decision to drop your ego. And from then on, you can then look at the perspective and your situation that you are in. If you're flying right now and you're doing so well, everything's going right, then this video isn't for you. When you hit a roadblock, when you hit something that happens in your life that you didn't even expect happening, when the trials and tribulations come, that's when this video is for you. Because the thing you need to do as a man, as anyone in a situation when you hit a setback, is instantly take one step forward. Make the right decision for you. Understand that no one's going to come and help you. You have to break in to your mindset. You have to break into your mind and your decision-making center and say, fuck that. Whatever you're thinking, fuck that. I'm taking control now. This is what I'm doing. Oh, but it's hard. Oh, but it's not easy. It's not going to be easy. The setback is hard. You have to choose the hard. And taking that step forward, it's the hardest step. The first one is always the hardest. Sometimes you may not even know you're taking it because you're that down bad. I was there in a rut and I just went and never looked back. And you will have setback again and again and again, but it's how you bounce back each time. You have to take over the conscious thinking and the thought processes in your mind. You have to take them over. Your body will tell you the easiest route, always. Because that's what your body is programmed to do. To take the easiest route. Because, well, it's the easiest thing to do. Your body wants to survive the easiest way it can. It will lie to you. It will manipulate you into making a different decision than what is the correct one to make. When you don't know if there's going to be an outcome, when you don't know when the finish line is in the race, that's where you have to make the decision to keep going, to take control of your mind. I read David Goggins' autobiography and I couldn't recommend it more. The stuff the man talks about, the mind control you have of your own self. You don't realize it, but you're on autopilot probably 90% of the time. I'm not though. He's probably not. The people out there who are successful are not. And yes, I'm not at that level yet, but I will be. I will be. And taking control, once you have that control, your life will change forever. Forever. People do what society tells them, the classic route, school, university, or maybe do a gap year. Ooh. But it doesn't matter what point you are in your life, you can change at any moment. There's people who are homeless and broke at 40 years old and millionaires by 50. Did it happen overnight? No, of course not. But there is a tipping point. There is a switch. You have to flick that switch to wake up your own conscience, your own decision making. I wasn't even going to film this video, but something came over me. And then, instead of going to sleep, I made the conscious decision to sit in front of this camera and yap to you, to give you this information. The most powerful thing and the best thing that you can invest into in your whole life will always be your mind. Making it indestructible. Making it into your strongest weapon. That's what I have done to myself. And it's hard to explain and give you a clear path on how to do this, how to complete this, because it happened to me somewhat naturally by things that happened through my life. And yes, like I said, it is a conscious decision making, but an event will happen and the realization will come to you what you must do. And when it comes, don't take the easy route. Pick the hard lane. Pick the road that doesn't have a finish. And keep running. Because if you can run without knowing there's a finish line, when everyone tells you to stop, then any race that you go into, you can dominate. Because you have prepared your mind to run without stopping. Ever. You tell and control your mind to tell it that no matter what happens, you are not stopping. You will continue running no matter the trials and tribulations that come. So I challenge you for one whole day to write down every decision that you make. Whether it's in your phone, in your notes app, and you just speak into it and tell you the decision, or you write it down on a notepad and pen. I don't care. But this will allow you to take the conscious control of your decisions. Be more aware of the decisions that you're making. Every single decision that you make, write it down. And I promise you, it will change your perspective massively. It will hold you more accountable for the decisions that you make. You have more awareness of the right decision to make for yourself. Wake up. What am I doing first? What am I eating today? What am I wearing? Why am I wearing this? Is it to look good for myself? Is it to look good for the opposite gender? Is it to attract people? Is it to look smart and formal in case any business opportunities come? How do you want to give yourself off? Do you want to wear streetwear? Or do you want to wear something smart, like a polo or a shirt to look smart, to be respected? Are you going to wear a watch? Why? To tell the time or to look good? All these little decisions are massive. Am I going to take my wallet out for me today? Why? Do I plan on spending money? Would I buy this if a good offer came up? All of these little things you need to have the conscious decision making for. So write down, at the end of the day, analyze, actually even the next day, analyze the decisions you made. Because you make decisions up until the moment you go to bed. At what time you go to bed. What side of the pillow you're going to sleep on. Obviously you don't need to write down every single decision because there's thousands you'll make within a day. But take down as many as you can. And take control of your thought processing. And that is the key message for this video. I hope you learned something and you can take something away from this video to benefit your life and take that first step. So I shared a lot of details about myself, some vulnerable details at that as well. But I'm happy to share those because of the position I'm in now. where I am mentally now. And that is never going to be a problem for me ever again. I can say that wholeheartedly. Full of truth, I know. So that is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed. Leave your comments on how you enjoyed the video. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.